Welcome back to Two Movies, One Pod with your hosts, Em and Kinka. I'm Em.
And I'm Kinka.
And today we have our very first guest, Waterbucket.
Hello, my name is Waterbucket from Waterbucket Gaming. I do some fun streamy stuff, some games, community, hanging out with these beautiful people. Thanks for having me on today.
You're welcome.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for coming.
Thanks for being the only guest ever.
So far, yeah.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
On today's episode, we're discussing Barry Sonnenfeld's 1997 sci-fi action comedy film Men in Black, starring Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, and Linda Fiorentino.
And we're also going to be talking about the other thing that also exists. F. Gary Gray's, that's a heck of a name. 2019's Men in Black International, starring Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and Kumail Nanjiani. That's how you say his name, everybody.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, these movies, they're movies. Well, one of them is a movie. Personally, I'm of the belief that only one of them is a movie. I don't know about you guys.
The other one just is not a movie.
The other one is, I don't even know what it is, but...
Clear favorite.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm not even that into the first one, but it's still like a movie. It still has craft and charm and direction and intent and life put into it. And the Men in Black International is just, hey, we haven't made a Men in Black movie in like 7 years. We want money. That's pretty much
Definitely.
it. So I think right off the bat we should ask a wee little question to our Waterbucket here.
Yes.
What motivated you in your heart to choose this movie, Waterbucket?
Oh, great question. So this is one of my movies I kind of grew up with. I've always been one of those spacey, hey, look up at the stars, what's going on kind of people. And the first movie, Men in Black, just kind of put all of those, hey, you know what, it'd be fun if there were aliens, who really knows, maybe UFOs are real. And it kind of just put that belief or just idea, paradigm, I guess, more into the forefront of what was going on. It was more acceptable, more just like, oh man, yeah, this is so cool, look at all the stuff, yeah. And it just, I don't know, just grew up with it. It's always been one of those near and dear. But yeah, that's why I picked this movie.
Nice. So you like looking up in the stars and being like, who knows what's out there? And then it just turns out it's just Will Smith making a lot of jokes. Not all of them land, in my opinion, but I can appreciate it for the time, 100%. 97.
Definitely. So I have a better question. Why the fuck did we choose the reboot?
Well,
Why did we do that to ourselves?
I've never seen it. I know. I've come to know that that's for good reason. I've seen the first three. Never seen this one. I saw, there's always trailers for it back in 2019 when it came out, and I was like, wow, that does not look good. So I didn't see it. It isn't good. It's not. Right. It's very bad. So that's why we chose it, though. That's why we chose it. Because,
choose the shitty counterparts.
Yeah.
It's not always like we said, it's not always two good movies. It's one good one and then one shitty one that's similar or somehow similar to the first one we choose. So, right, Waterbucket chose a good one, so we chose the shitty one.
Yeah, sorry about that, Waterbucket.
No, man, I enjoy all of them. I think I've seen all of them in theaters. So, yeah, it's good times. And I definitely enjoyed picking apart the last one with you guys while we were watching it. Yeah, there's definitely a clear contrast.
Yeah, just, I mean, first of all, I'm sure that the first one was shot on film. I believe they didn't start shooting movies and film until like the early 2000s. But yeah, so that was on film. New one's on digital. Already a difference there. But just the way, oh my God, just...
There's so much difference
pacing
that we can get into. Yes.
Yeah, just like intros.
It feels so different. Yeah, I remember we watched like 5 minutes in and we were just like, why is this movie so fast? She was like joining the Men in Black like 2 minutes into the movie, it felt like.
Yeah.
Like it just flew by. We're just like, holy shit. But then you watch the first one and it's very just it flows so
Methodical.
good. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right, there's even a montage for Will Smith when he finally is accepted, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? Hey, if you want to know what's going on, come and be at this place tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. sharp." And there's the montage of him just sitting by the bay, just looking out over the ocean or the water, and just thinking, and you could just feel the tone, like the tone with the music and the shots and the camera angles of what's going on. You can tell the internal dialogue, just like the turmoil of going on. But in the second one, she's like, "Man, let's go, let's do this." Yeah.
She like sought them out. I didn't like that. I
Mm-hmm.
liked when he was sought out by Tommy Lee Jones. It just feels like you could put yourself more in Will Smith's shoes more than Tessa Thompson's. Like it just feels different.
Overall, yeah.
You know?
You see, I actually kind of, that concept I think is interesting, of someone seeking out the Men in Black rather than the inverse of someone of the Men in Black seeking someone out. It's just it was not executed well, as everything with this movie. And this is just the thing. I was having a war in my head earlier, pondering. Okay, so Men in Black International, it's a reboot. So the intent of a reboot is to kind of reintroduce a series to the to the people, because 7 years is apparently too long and you forget everything.
Well, these days,
So, because with the pacing of Tessa Thompson joining the Men in Black so quick, a lot of stuff isn't really properly introduced. But so this is like the fourth movie in the franchise, so people understand these things already. Could be the thought process, but also it's a reboot, and the point of the reboot is to reintroduce these concepts. So it's at war with itself, deciding whether to be just another Men in Black movie or a reboot, because it's treating the material like it's just another movie, but also it's treating it like a reboot. So it's nothing. It ends up just being nothing. And the pacing is just insane. It's going nowhere fast. It just goes and goes and goes. They're like, the entire first 30-40 minutes is, hey, here's these new characters, here's this guy, here's this guy that goes like blah, 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 blah. Here's this guy that breakdances, and it just means nothing. It's just
confusing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just like padding the runtime, padding the characters. The more characters you add, it's like quantity over quality in this new movie. But in the last one, you really spend a lot of time with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and I don't know. I guess it's just their characters are more likable and they're more real, and they feel like people I would know or meet. It's the whole thing is different. It does not feel like the same movie at all, or like the same franchise.
Yeah, and even the agents themselves, right? The original Agent K in the first one, and then in the reboot. Well, I don't even remember what Chris Hemsworth's character's name is because it was just so.
Who knows?
His name was Agent H.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Very
Chris
memorable.
Henry. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the complete spectral opposites of K, down to business. He's like the most feared agent in the galaxy, kind of thing. And then you go to H, and the history of him is like, oh, he's the best, blah blah blah. But then everything that we see of him in the movie is just Chris Hemsworth being an irresponsible party guy.
Yeah, it's just Thor Ragnarok again.
Yeah. Exactly.
Especially with Tessa Thompson.
Trying to knock on casting, but with Tessa Thompson in there too. Yeah, it's just she's a great actress. Don't get me wrong, and they have good chemistry. But it definitely felt like, why are you guys putting Thor Ragnarok with Thor not having a hammer? What's the deal?
It just doesn't work.
Confusing.
It just doesn't work. It just really doesn't. But so then I ask a question that organically I thought of in my head just right now.
Oh, love it.
We discussing the first movie a little bit. We touched upon the characters and everything, their dynamics. So I wonder, we watched this movie just not even a week ago, right? And now, currently, anyone watching, if you're unaware, it's 2023 right now. This movie came out in 1997. That is, I don't mean to age anybody, but that's fucking old. That's old.
Thanks.
Me saying I saw it in the theaters.
So how is this movie aged? 97. Think of it like this was at the very beginning of CGI of these types of movies. This is really one of the first types of these movies, if that makes sense. So how is this aged? Looking back on it.
I think it's aged for what it is, like you were saying, actually done on film and having the care taken for the real life models of these things versus just the nonstop CG of these days. It's not bad. Like you can tell that they're on a set, like in the first bit with what was his name, Mikey, running up to go eat the first sheriff. He shoots him, it explodes, and you can tell they're there. All of that blue goo that went everywhere. But yeah, it's just in your face. It's just constant. Versus then, which is nice, methodical. It actually brings the story together. You have to sit and go, what's going on with the story? What part are you going to help me figure out? Versus now, yeah, we're aging the first one. We're not picking apart the second one the entire time.
Not yet.
I mean, you can if you want. Feel free.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, having to figure out what's going on versus literally being able to write the movie as we're watching it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like the first one, we definitely saw, the green screens and stuff like that, but it's like it's passable because of look how old it is, like that's okay. I don't mind that, and it almost like gives it that charm, when it was that old. You're just like, it's okay, like that movie's old, it's fine, like that kind of makes it what it is. Yeah, but then when you have what we had, the international Men in Black International, there was just overkill of CGI. It wasn't that good. It's like I definitely questioned the budget at times. I was like, they have all the money went to Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth and Liam Neeson, clearly, because it was not that good of CGI. It really wasn't. It just, and it's, like we said, it's rushed. It just
The first movie used a good mixture of practical effects and CGI, but Men in Black International, the reboot, the bad one, used primarily CGI. How do you think using practical effects and CGI, a mixture of the two, but preferably more practical, how do you think that affects like the tone, the feel, and just the look of the movie? Because I personally, in the first one at least, every time that there's a CGI, it's so obvious because it's very not good. But the practical effects in the first movie are great. They're done by Rick Baker, I believe is his name. Rick Baker, he does amazing creature design, physical creature design, and he just knocks it out of the park every time. And his absence is felt in International because the character design is horrible in that movie. Horrible. And the CGI is horrible. So horrible times horrible is horrible.
Wow, to the fourth power.
Yeah. But what do you guys think?
I definitely appreciate the practical effects used because I grew up in that time. I was 4 years old when it came out, so I love I love the Muppets. I love just practical effects, things like that, like Jim Henson type stuff. So I can appreciate the practical aliens and like the goo, stuff like that. It just looks so much better because it is real. Even if it looks like handmade, it's still, like I said, it's the charm. It feels just, I don't know, like it hits that spot in your heart, but when it's made with like a, CGI, it feels so less real. It just feels so fake. And like when we saw that, first character, when she was a little girl, Kinka was like, what the hell is this?
That thing was so fucking ugly.
Yeah, it just wasn't, and it was so CGI that like it doesn't flow with the movie because it's too much, it's just
not
it
tangible.
Look right.
It's nothing.
Yeah,
it's not there.
It doesn't flow with the movie at all.
Yeah.
It kind of hits
what
that
about you,
uncanny
Waterbucket?
valley.
Yes.
Yeah. I would tend to agree with you guys on this one for sure. The second movie just having nothing but CGI and their humanoid aliens. It's just like a human with a weird CGI head on it. Versus in the first one where the humanoids were like, oh, okay, man, that guy's legs aren't legs. Those are like tentacle things. And this giant guy that Will Smith is about to poke is actually there. He's like a real bubble giant caterpillar thing. Whereas in the second one, Chris Hemsworth walks past that lady with the big bulbous bouffant, but it's her brain, I guess. Kind of weird time dilation thing she's got going on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's like,
Sorry, it took me a second to
What is
remember.
this? What is this? Yeah, right. And they're so unremarkable. And then, but yeah, in the first one, the mixture of CG versus the IRL aliens with the another scene where Will Smith is helping deliver the alien baby because what's his name is out of the licensed area. When the camera is looking at Tommy Lee Jones and the alien, the husband, you see in the background the crazy alien tentacles CG throwing Will Smith around, hitting him on the car. And you're like, okay, I know it's CG, I can clearly tell. But it's over there, and they're having this nice back and forth up here, so it's cool and it works. And then right from that scene, it goes to... in real life, little alien baby in his hands, and it's like that's like legit real effects. Like that's a baby alien right there. Like he's holding a baby alien.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. But yeah, I definitely think the first movie has those like you're saying, those endearing qualities that has a nice mixture of CG versus real life stuff, whereas the second one is just constant CG. It's like, oh, is that guy even real? I don't know. Is it like, is that human real, or did they just pay for someone to do his voice? I don't know. I can't tell these days.
I think it's also it's worth contrasting the climaxes of both movies, because both movies have a giant CG alien monster that they gotta fight, and
that's true.
To me personally, when we watched Men in Black International, I remarked upon how just nothing. That monster they fight is just nothing. It's the most uninspired design. It's just a blob with tentacles. It looks like Venom. It's just nothing. It's just ugly.
What did we say it looked like? Or I thought it looked like Cthulhu.
You're doing... Don't disrespect Cthulhu like that.
I know. That is so rude of me. I literally... Oh, we said it was dollar store Cthulhu, so that's okay.
It's just nothing. It's just so bad. But even though the CGI is a bit rough for the climax in the first movie, the cockroach monster thing, it's a somewhat of an inspired design. It's not quite what I would have gone for if I was making a giant cockroach, but it's in line with the movie.
Exactly. It doesn't feel so left field. It just, I don't know. They don't do it like they used to. That's all I'll say.
Guess not. Not when it comes to Men in Black or Sony. I'm on. Yeah. Sony, start making some better movies, Sony. Okay, I'm getting mad at you.
For real.
Right, your tech's good, but the creativity, man, it's dropping.
For real. So anyways, if you guys want to move on, I was wondering, do you guys think either of these movies are they deep, or are they dumb, or what do you guys think?
I think we could all probably agree that second one is pretty dumb.
Yeah, you know what makes it dumb? Here's the one thing. Okay. In my opinion, the best aspect of the Men in Black movies, especially the trilogy, is when the thing like happens at the end. They're like, oh, everything zooms out. Oh, Earth, the universe is a marble, and it's just the marble that there's weird aliens playing, and then it's in the satchel, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And the reboot didn't do that. That's like a Men in Black staple, and you're telling me you even do that?
I was so lost in the second one. There was so much going on, and I was just like, this. Like I've said 100 times, this is a movie for kids. This is all fast-paced aliens, shiny colors, guns, blah blah blah. This is for kids. It was not deep in the slightest. It didn't have any like heartfelt scenes. I would take, if I had a kid, I would take my kid to see it. But like, look at the bright colors, look at the fun aliens. But it's nothing what the first one was.
Yeah, there's no themes. Nothing.
No, it was so boring.
Yeah, definitely. Even like when they tried to have the heartfelt moment, like in the beginning with the little kid Molly and the Kablanok Shulin little monster dude, that was trying to be heartfelt, right?
Do you mean the 30-second scene that was absolutely nothing? Because it was so just blown by. And then when we saw him at the end, I was like, I forgot about that 30-second scene from the beginning. Like, you know what I mean? Because it was so just blown over. It was so stupid. Yeah.
Right? They're trying to pack in so much. Like, it's a 2 hours and a bit movie, and
it's less than 2 hours.
The second one?
Yeah.
I thought it was. Oh, is it really? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why we watched it, because it was short. We were like, we're not watching a 2-hour movie.
But they definitely tried. I feel like they tried to put too much too many callbacks, too many little revamps, in too much action, too much colors, too much explosions into the second one, instead of like fleshing out the story, instead of having like these 15 extra side characters who have like 2 seconds here and then like a minor thing at the end, have it be like 3 extra characters and like have them be reoccurring, come back in. Okay, cool. Now this character has some sort of development to it. Like in the first one, I think the first one is way deeper than the International. Mm-hmm. The first one having, even in the opening scene where the 2 agents are sitting after the whole blowing up the first alien guy, sitting there, and it's like, yeah, you never look up at the stars anymore because you know what's there, but it's like they're beautiful. And then you look up and like, yeah, it is. Like you look at it from a place of lack of a better term, ignorance, and you're just like, oh, look at the pretty lights. They're gorgeous. But then you have that little bit of a deeper set to it, like, oh, well, if each of those points of light is a potential for life, what does that mean? Well, nothing is as it seems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the first movie, I think it hits the theme of nothing is what it seems, or there's more than there seems to be, a lot better than the second one does. Second one is just like, oh, that's not what it seems to be. That's not what it seems to be. That's not what it seems to be. Where in this one, it's like, oh, okay, there's a van full of migrants. They're coming in. They got to go check one by one. What's going on here? What's happening? They pick the one guy. There's some suspense going on. Well, why do they signal out this guy? What's going on? Go through it. Boom. Oh, man, that guy's an alien. This is crazy. And it just kind of, instead of being, boom, here's a thing, boom, here's a thing, it presents you with, here's a relatively normal situation. Where do you think this is going to go? And then, boom. Now this one guy, and he's blinking 2 sets of eyes. It's just been this crazy perp chase for 5 minutes, showing how good of a character Will Smith's going to be. And then this guy, your world's going to end. What are you talking about? Blinks, and then blinks the other set, and you're just like, oh, what is this? Versus the second one, where it's just like, oh, bam, alien right in your face. Boom.
Yeah.
There was no build. Yeah, no build.
Exactly.
That
was a great example of like how different they are.
Yeah, I'd even go as far as to say International utterly betrays the themes of the series.
I like that.
Saying that not everything is as it seems, when literally in that movie, everything is cut and dry exactly as it seems. Like, I called it not even halfway in the movie. I'm like, okay, Liam Neeson's the bad guy. And Liam Neeson was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth got neuralized. Oh, yeah, he got neuralized. It's so cut and dry. It's so obvious.
And we didn't even know what the main point of the movie was until like halfway through.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, why are we even here? Why do we care about any of these people? Cool, she figured out there was MIB, but what's going on? Great.
Yeah, before there was plot, you could figure out who the bad guy was in the second one.
We knew something was up. Kinka called it like at the beginning, and we're just like, fucking A.
So stupid. Who made this? I'm sorry, Gary Gray.
That brings me into a good question, kind of, comparing this to, how would you guys compare the original cast to the reboot? Like how, are they any better? Are they similar? Are they different?
I'll let Waterbucket start, because I think both of us have unkind things to say about aspects of the stuff.
Yeah. A little bit. Well, if we're talking about the first movie, Agent K does a great job. Tommy Lee Jones, fantastic job. I mean, granted, that's kind of like Tommy Lee Jones in most of his movies, but that character, he just fits so well. It's the no nonsense. This is what's going on. Coming in, fantastic. This is what's happening. You can do what you want, but it's going to be my way at the end, because you're going to figure out it's the way to go. And then the secondary character, Will Smith, coming in, he's irresponsible a little bit. He's ignorant of what's going on. He thinks he's top dog in town, and then he realizes, oh, okay, all right. He slowly gets knocked down a peg here, knocked down a peg there. He's still doing his thing, but like he overcomes these challenges.
He's getting humbled, I would say.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Perfect term for that. versus the second one where Chris Hemsworth character, who is supposed to be like rival to Kay, and it's just like we're saying, it's just Chris Hemsworth being a party boy for an hour and a half,
being
before.
drunk Thor.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
Thor,
Yeah.
Doesn't even play Fortnite. He just goes and gets the guy killed. It's like, what is happening
and
here?
gets like super effed up at the club. It's like, what would this whole scene could have been cut down like by 10 minutes. I went to the bathroom during that scene and no one even knew, and I didn't even miss anything probably. Like I was just like, this is so dumb.
All right, saw a little bit of breakdancing aliens for a second.
Yeah, I was like, peace.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the quote-unquote bad guys in the second one versus the first one, I did kind of dig on. I really enjoyed their CGI, kind of like living nebulas was a really interesting concept.
That was really cool, yeah.
It was pretty cool.
But then, spoilers, of course, all spoilers, the entire thing. Then finding out, these guys who this entire time we thought were bad guys because they're being relentless at their cause, and then come to find out, there was a misunderstanding, and they should have been on our team the whole time. Versus first one, right? Versus the first one, it's like, no, that's the bad guy. We're gonna try and figure out how to get this bad guy. Oh man, there's this crazy, like mid-movie back and forth. Now we know, he knows, we know, and now we gotta kind of tactical retreat, come back together and get this done. Whereas in the second one, was just kind of like, go, 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 go.
Yeah, there's like no stopping, no nothing. It's so modern. Like, you know, I always say that about these like movies. It's just so like now. It's just like that stupid ass, like, it just reminds me of TikTok, social media, this and that, 2023, just like fast pace, you know, like just fast stuff, fast one day shipping, da-da-da-da. It's that same type of feeling, and I don't like it. But when you have the first movie, it's chill, it's fun, everyone can watch it. But I'll go ahead and get back to the question. The comparison, I love Tommy Lee Jones so much. He's carries the first movie for me. Will Smith also does a good job.
Will Smith is there.
Yes, Will Smith is there. And that movie was definitely, you know, like his face was the cover for it. You know, that's how they really pushed it, I feel like. And that's really what he's known for. Like, when I think Will Smith, I think Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Men in Black. You know, I don't really think of anything else. So, but the second one, the characters, why was Liam Neeson in this movie? Just to be a bad guy for maybe 10 minutes of screen time?
Yeah, literally that's why. That is why. That's why he was there.
It's so weird and random. Like, get someone random. It's just like, why are you having this huge actor be this 5-second scary, you know, just bad guy? It's so weird and stupid. And Tessa Thompson is a great actress, and Chris Hemsworth is a great actress. The characters just don't do it for me. I also wanted there to be some romance there, like I do in every movie that we've watched. And there wasn't. Because I thought there was going to be something, and there wasn't. It was very...
It was weird.
Just like the movie, very vague and just pump it out. Just
marketable.
Just let's film it, let's go. Yeah, there is no like sitting on this, let's rewatch this movie, this is a classic. No, it was just like, let's pump it out and get it out, you
if
know?
someone told me to rewatch Men in Black International, I might punch them or slap them in the face.
Right, exactly. What about you, Kinka? What do you think?
Well, Tommy Lee Jones, he's great. Will Smith, he fits the movie, is what I'll say about Will Smith. I'm not overly fond of the way his character acts. It's very 90s. It's very racial humor. Oh, well, black people do this and white people do this type thing, which is just not. It's just annoying. It's not doing anything.
It's not okay. Like, you know, it's not. It doesn't hit the same as it did back then.
Well, yeah, but it's not. You're not breaking any ground in this comedy. You're just saying nothing. That's how I feel. But I mean, I guess it fits his character. That's the type of character that he is. He has some funny jokes. Like the whole part when he first goes into the MIB and he grabs that like sphere and then it goes like flying all over the place. I found that pretty
That
funny.
was cute. I loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he wasn't like, he didn't make a race joke out of it. It was just funny. He's just like, I'll pay for that and then that. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that this was gonna do that. And this his reaction shots just every so often he'd be like, oh. It was just funny, but
it was cute.
he can be funny. He's lighthearted, at least. Even when I don't personally find him funny, he's still lighthearted. He's an enjoyable character. Tommy Lee Jones is the classic tough-hardened guy. But even still, compared to like the later Men in Black movies that Tommy Lee Jones is in, I felt he was comparatively pleasant in this. Like, he's much more of a hard ass in the later movies, and I prefer him being, like, in Men in Black 3, when they go back in time, the younger version of Tommy Lee Jones was even more of a stickler than the older version, so it's kind of
which
odd.
Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I like what they did with him later in the series, but I still quite enjoy him here. But
yeah, he's more of a... Oh, sorry. Yeah.
we haven't brought him up yet, but Vincent D'Onofrio, amazing in this movie.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
The cockroach guy.
Oh, yeah. Edgar?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He
great.
does a great job. Yeah, like you believe that he is a 12-foot bug stuck in a 6'2" skin.
He's such a great
he's
actor.
Just trying to walk. Yeah, and Edgar, your skin is hanging off your bones.
God.
There, is that better?
How did I forget about him? He was scary as hell.
Oh,
Like,
dude, yes.
make a Men in Black haunted house and just have him in it.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
scary.
In all
he
of
was
his
very
different
scary.
forms. Yeah.
Yeah.
he
And
was
even,
great.
Even the introduction of that character, when you have the shot of the farmhouse with Edgar and wife just having that back and forth. Clearly, he's an abusive husband. He's a jerk.
Yes.
We don't. We want this guy to not be around anymore, kind of thing.
Right.
And he says the only thing that pulls its weight around here is my truck. And as soon as he says that, the alien just
So
boom.
Yeah.
No more
Yeah.
truck, sucker. Let's go.
Right. That was good.
Yeah, just the physical acting, the physical comedy, even just the way he's just like throwing his body. He doesn't know how to use his body. It's just such great acting.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Take
And then
that,
going
Men in
back
Black
to the,
International. Don't have
Yeah,
shit
you
like
guys
that. You don't
could
have anything
never-
like that. If you had
Yeah.
this in the movie, it would have been CG. So fuck you.
For
Oh,
real.
100%.
Yeah.
But then going back to CG versus in real life effects, and him being such a scary, terrifying, believable bad guy. One of the scenes when they're in the morgue, he finally gets the cat's necklace, and he's holding I forgot what her name was. I'm sorry, Linda, the
Linda.
morgue lady.
Fiorentino.
And then he says something funky about it, and then it zooms in on his face. He opens his mouth, and those cockroach feeler mandibles come out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy God, that's
Yeah.
wow. Whereas the new one, they didn't have one of the grosser things was just the living beard in the water bottle. That's just hella nasty.
That was it.
Wasn't. Yeah, but it didn't
I liked
really,
how gross the first one was. Even like we said with
Yeah.
the goo, where it splattered everywhere and it was on them. You're just like, ooh.
Yeah.
But like, it felt.
Yeah.
I just love that. I love that feeling. Like it puts you into the movie more. But then if it was CGI, it would
definitely.
just be like,
Okay.
Yeah.
you
I
guys
guess.
are fine. You're not
Yeah.
covered at all. Like, yeah, it was just stupid.
Yeah, the character,
Yeah.
just the way that the first movie is, aliens are gross and they're scary. And then in the second one,
Yeah.
aliens are CG and they don't exist and they may as well not even be there.
Right, exactly. Or they're trying to be overly cute, but we'll get to my
Oh.
favorite character in the second
Yeah,
one.
that insufferable character.
Me
See.
and Waterbucket liked them a lot.
Yeah, he's good people. It's fun.
So this is an obvious answer question, but I'm just gonna ask it anyways, and it doesn't have to be too long. Do both movies have the same charm?
Here, let me look at the survey, see what survey says. Survey
Resounding.
says no.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're
Nothing.
saying, right? The first one, it's endearing. It has that you want to go back and watch it again, even though now you know where all the little things are. There's still
Right.
probably stuff that you're gonna find and see in the background that, oh man, I didn't even notice that in this scene there was that one thing going on. That, oh cool, now that I've seen it, I know about it. versus the second one where it's just like, wow, I there's so much stimulus, it's hard to even see if there is charm to this thing. Like there's a couple of silly, nice, cute moments, like with the one silly temp guy in MIB taking the selfies. Okay, that's kind of cute. Or like maybe one or two sweet things that someone said somewhere that might have had some charm to it, but like the overall charm of the first one, definitely not even close in the second one.
Not at all.
There's nothing.
My answer is no. I have nothing to say.
It's just flat. It's flat. It's CG. It's digital. It's nothing. Uncharismatic. Cold filmmaking.
Yeah.
Uncharismatic. Ooh, that's a good one.
It feels like a shitty Netflix movie.
So a Netflix movie.
Yeah. Sometimes Netflix makes good things, but
they distribute good things. They don't make good things.
Well, they made Stranger Things, so.
Well, I've not seen it, so it sucks.
Oh, damn. You've not seen it?
I'm just kidding. I've not seen it, so I don't know if it's good. I'm sure it's good.
It's literally like my favorite show ever.
Yeah, I mean, they should be pumping out jammers with the analytics they got. What do people like? This. What do they not like? Most of the rest of it. Cool.
But then
Let's do something like that.
They make these stupid movies, like these animated movies, just to pump them out, and that's what I was trying to say. Is that's what it feels like. It's so like just heartless. A fucking AI character, an AI made this.
Yeah, Chat GDP or whatever it's called.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
that's how it was made. No, a human didn't say this is good. Let's put this out.
Yeah, no sane human.
Yeah.
It seems kind of like a spin-off machine. Like, oh, there was this tiny little subplot in there that, oh, now we could do a whole show about it. Or, oh, now there's a line of toys we can throw out. Or, oh, maybe there can be another spin-off movie.
Yeah,
they're really harping on it.
This movie was
the
movie was manufactured to expand Men in Black. That's why it's international. They're going to different places so they can have, oh, well, this guy was in this country, now let's watch what he does, right? It's just it was just purely manufactured to sell toys in the case of Pawnee, of which I can guarantee they didn't sell like at least 5 of fucking Pawnee toys.
Have you ever even heard of Pawnee?
Never.
Have you no, you've never even heard of Pawnee, so
the only Pawnee that I know is Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
I don't know of anything else.
Pawnee, the city, yes.
Yeah, I mean that even that name in itself, Pawnee, is just so uninspired.
It's nothing.
It is, right?
Yeah, it's like Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah.
Really.
Pawnee deserved better.
Mm-hmm.
Or to not be in the movie at all. I think not being in the movie at all is better. Deserving better.
He was the comedic relief that I needed. He was the cute character that kept me holding on during this whole fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
But and there was cute, I mean, me and Waterbucket were like, oh, like at some points it was sweet, but it's like I said, trying to be Groot, trying to be Grogu. It's trying so hard, and it's
failing at every level.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
He definitely tried. It was a fun concept. The whole back and forth with the, oh no, I'm a pawn who's lost my queen. I don't know what to do with my life. And then Chris Hemsworth just saying, all right, let's do it then. And then he's like, whoa, wait, hold on, what? No, I mean, you guys are supposed to have me not do this.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was funny, but it went on a bit too long. The whole, is he going to kill himself? Is he not? I wish he did, but that's okay.
That was cute. I love that part.
Will he, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt kind of more of a plot device or a little bit of plot armor here and there. Because there's definitely a few spots where he kind of shines, I guess. Like with the 3-armed lady. And, oh, look at the Pawnee. What is he going to do? And then he just does look up. Yeah, I got the gun. Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool. Because how else were they going to get out of that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Maybe
exactly.
Even
they needed Pawnee.
Yeah. Maybe even like a second thought kind of, lazy writing. Let's figure out how are we going to get these characters out of this situation. Should we figure it out?
Nah.
We'll just put in a little guy that fits in your pocket. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Right. Exactly.
But there didn't really seem like that much of that kind of character in the first one. And they kind of touched on a few different guys, like Frank going out to the dog for a second.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. That was fun. That was a nice little, oh, he's a dog. Oh, wait, he's actually an alien kind of thing. but then you get like the cuteness of the baby alien that we were talking about. But then you get kind of like the endearing nonsense of like the worms, who they're that character who's kind of a jerk, but they're endearing enough of a jerk to like, all right, cool, go have a drink with this guy. He's probably gonna tell me that they bought the first round when I did, but we'll still hang out. Versus this one where it's kind of like, okay,
I see.
Well, speaking of that pug, this raises a good question, because if you recall, for like 2 seconds, this pug was in the Men in Black International for some reason. So, that just leads to fan service. Like, I know fan service is a big problem nowadays with many different franchises. Like, but to me personally, I think this movie was very light on fan service. Like, sure, they had the pug for a few seconds. International.
Oh, the first one.
They had the pug in there for a few seconds, and those worm guys were like, "Hey, look at me! I'm walking on the subway." And then they had Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones on like a mural. Like, to me, that's incredibly light considering Star Wars and I don't know, Ghostbusters and fucking Top Gun even, fan service up the wazoo. So I think this movie was very surprisingly withholding a lot of fan service. But what do you guys think when it comes to fan service?
I don't know. I kind of think that having Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in the movie in the roles that they have was a little fan servicey, just to be like, oh, look, it's Thor, let's go, and having that dynamic back and forth between those two characters is kind of like, oh wait, they were both in Ragnarok. Oh, we love these guys from the Marvel movies. But then also kind of like the in your face so constantly. That's also kind of fan servicey, where it's just like, oh, look at these lights, look at the school. But I mean, granted, there weren't a lot of callbacks to the first one, but like the neuralizer, they kind of updated it a little bit, where instead of just having that one little kind of thing, now it goes up and now it folds out again. Oh, crazy little update. And all of the weapons seemed a little hacky. I don't know if that counts as fan service or not, but definitely think a lot of the stars that they brought in, like Liam Neeson, having him there, that was to get people into the theaters, right? He was in there for maybe 15 minutes total screen time between pictures of him, people talking about him, and him actually being there. He's definitely in there for a minute or two, and then because there was a lot of like stars in the movie, like even the main, like Helen Mirren, was she who was that?
I think that's her name, the lady who fuck if I know what she did, but she's the one who
something
brought
Thompson,
in Tessa Thompson.
her name.
Oh, is it Emma Thompson?
Emma Thompson. Tessa Thompson
Okay.
and Emma Thompson. Look at that.
Yeah, there
Wow.
They're related.
Yeah.
big names like that.
Right.
But then again, in the first one with Liam Neeson's counterpart character Zed in the first one, I think Rip Torn probably did a better job of being that character, even though he's not a bad guy character.
Yeah, Rip Torn's great. Rest in peace, Rip Torn.
Yeah, for real.
Rip Torn.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, like Pawnee being fan service. And yeah. But please keep going.
Oh no, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just I wanted to say so I agree with the fan service aspect that you guys said, and you guys kind of helped me understand that pop culture references and trying hard to appeal to the youth is not the same thing as fan service. Like, in some ways it can be, but I hate when shitty movies go that extra mile to play some like song that everybody knows, or have like a nightclub scene, and like it's like going the extra mile to be like flashy, or like, and I know you guys think this is stupid, but I don't know why this pissed me off when they showed Donald Glover and Ariana Grande and whoever else on the screen up there. I was just like, it's that's for the kids. It's to be like, oh my god, like, it's so I just hate it. I don't know. I don't like it. It's different when it's a good movie and you're like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, just the vibe. It just felt like it was reaching for little things to be like, hey, look at this. We're cool. We know who this is. Let's put him in our movie. You know, that's what it felt like. I don't like that.
I don't know. I felt that was one of the only things that was actually in line with the first one. Because they had the whole part
well,
where...
the first one's different.
it,
You know, I'm
but
talking about the second one is
yeah,
just...
but those scenes are almost like the exact same in both movies, where it's like, look, all these aliens, these
then I'm
celebrities
just
are
biased,
actually
I
aliens.
guess.
I suppose.
I'm biased, I guess.
That, yeah. I can understand, like, if the first movie didn't have anything like that, and now they try to do it in the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see much problem with it. In fact, that was my only fading moments of joy in the movie, because I'm like, oh, look, there's Donald Glover. Wow, Atlanta, that's a good thing. Wish I was watching that instead.
That's exactly what they tried to get you to do. Besides you saying you'd rather watch that instead. That's exactly what I mean. It's just like for instance, if they put BTS on there, I'd be like, are you serious? Because a lot of people get kids like BTS. So it's like, you know, I just feel like it can be used as a cop out to be like, oh, look. Like, are you paying attention? Look. It's just annoying. I don't like it.
I think
I'm just a hater.
fair enough. I won't deny someone their ability to hate something. Who am I to deny that?
Right, because you are a hater yourself, so
Yeah.
you can be.
Definitely.
So what was y'all's favorite piece of tech in each movie? If you can remember any. From the second one.
There's nothing remarkable in the second one.
Yeah, in the second one, I definitely think the kind of like the main plot point of the star and a gun weapon was not only it was pretty cool. I like them, like it starts as a tiny little thing and it folds out to a fully fledged weapon, kind of cool. But then also having like an entire star inside of a gun that's pretty cool. Like when I first saw it and I was like, oh my god, wait, hold on, no way. Is that a sun? Do they have a sun inside of a gun? This is insane.
Son of a gun.
Nope.
Right.
But then it would kind of almost felt like, oh, they're trying to have like a hand-sized Death Star, because in one of the Star Wars movies coming out, taking all of the energy out of the sun and then killing a bunch of planets, and now it's like, oh, well, now we don't have to drain the star because the star's right here.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
I mean, that gun's cool in theory, but just how quickly Tessa Thompson's character just instantly knew exactly what it was so fucking absurd. The second she has the gun, like, oh, this appears to be a weaponized star, and it's a star shrunken down, and I can use it to zap things. Like, how the fuck do you know that? It just looks like a ball of energy.
Well, I mean, she's an astronomer, right? So
she's
been
at IT. She worked at IT.
Yeah,
that's where she worked, but you saw her home setup,
yeah.
though, right? Her home setup was insane. Or you were like, oh, Waterbucket has this on their PC.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, like she's tracking asteroids, she's tracking comets. She has her own apparent satellite system that can tell that there was a perpendicular vector from the asteroids field that was coming in. So she's studied astronomy.
I mean, yeah, there's a difference between knowing astronomy and knowing, oh, hey, I have a portable star in my hand. I don't know. Just for me, it was so, you know, the screenplay was like, okay, we can't find a way to naturally explain what this is. They just had to tell instead of show, because
well, yeah.
movie.
I mean, what percentage of the audience seeing the first one knowing that kind of stuff versus the second, or versus international? Because right, like the first one, it's kind of more niche, like weird kids like me. Oh man, I love the stars, I love aliens, this is so cool. Versus the new one, it's like, oh, Tessa Thompson, oh, Chris Hemsworth, oh, Liam Neeson, oh, this is graphics, yeah. So I definitely, I can understand the general populace being like, oh, look at this crazy thing that's going on, and not knowing what's going on with it. But coming from like studying astronomy and stuff like that, and literally seeing pictures and descriptions of stars all the time, all over the place, all the different kinds, types, styles, sizes, densities, and then just looking at this thing that looks like a giant explosion in a gun, it's just like, oh man, why, it's Men in Black, why not? Let's let this be a sun.
Yeah. Perhaps this is just something that I personally would have changed then. Instead of her just instantly knowing what it is and then shooting it, it would have been more compelling if they had accidentally shot it, and then after the wreckage of it, they figure out what it is. That's more compelling writing-wise.
Cool.
Rather than being, hey, look, I know exactly what this is. Look what it does. Boom. Just accidentally do it, and they're like, oh, shit, this is a star. We have a star right now.
Yeah, that's better writing, 100%.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Kinka should have wrote it.
I should have.
Really though, hey, there's still time, man. You could do Men in Black 5.
I'm good. Well, speaking of that actually raises a good question.
Like, we finished talking about the tech. Let's go to the next question.
Okay, well, I'll just say real quick, my favorite one, Neuralizer. I mean, how could that not be the best piece of tech?
No, for real. Yeah, it travels through all the movies, right? It's literally the only thing, even though they update it and it'll make it look fancier throughout the movies, it's the main piece of tech that goes through all of it. It's like the car in the first one, super sick. Like, that was fantastic. And then in International with the train, I think we all appreciated how dope that train.
I thought it was kind of stupid.
I liked it. I thought it was fucking cool.
But okay, we're getting off topic. So you bring up MIB 5 Waterbucket. So I raise this question: how much longer until Sony, I guess they still own Men in Black? How much longer until they try to make another Men in Black movie, another reboot, or like a TV show or something like? It's got to be like what in the next like 5 years they're gonna try to bring this back from the dead again. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't put it past them to, at the very least, do like a TV show, maybe a cartoon show, because there was the MIB cartoon show back in the early 2000s, and maybe they'll try and have a couple spin-off movies. Because like we were saying earlier, there's so much packed into such a small amount of movie that there's still a pretty decent amount of movie. They try to pack so much into that movie. There's a lot of potential for offshoots. Like, oh, hey, now we can maybe do like a prequel and do a bunch of stuff about the Hive and where that comes from. Or maybe we can do an after of what happens to Tessa Thompson's character after she said, yes, I'll come and work for you this time. So
nobody cares.
Yawn.
I hope not. If they do anything with this movie, I won't hear of it. Don't give a fuck.
Well, here I can think of 2 ideas right now that would be an interesting Men in Black movie that they're obviously not going to do because that would make too much sense to make a good movie. Make a movie about the founding of Men in Black. That would be interesting.
Ooh.
Or
I would watch that actually.
Yeah. Or
that'd be cool.
Make a movie that's kind of like inverse Men in Black. That's like a Men in Black organization but on a different planet.
Ooh, and then it's like when humans go to the moon, they all get
they're
interviewed
like
and stuff
aliens.
like that.
Yeah, so those
That
are already
would be
2 interesting
cool.
movies that they're never going to make because that would make too much sense. But also, it does bear reminding that these movies are based off of a comic series.
Oh, really?
So I don't
Men
know.
in Black
I've never
is a
read
comic
them.
series?
I don't know
I didn't know that either.
what they took from the series in these movies or what they just made up. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of stuff is in that series. So there could be stuff like that. For all we know, Men in Black International could be a perfect 100% exact adaptation from the comics, and we wouldn't know. I really hope not, because those would be some shitty ass comics. But
Probably not.
so I don't know. I don't know how long the comics ran, but I know that at least before the first movie came out. But yeah, so like
I was if the second.
You go ahead.
If the second movie or the International is based on the comics, those comics are very densely packed pieces of comic.
Yeah, it's just they're just not gonna make the obvious choice, like I just said, like a founding of a Men in Black movie. That would be interesting, but no, they're gonna do another reboot with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know who that first one is, but I know who Zendaya is.
That's all you need to know.
Couldn't even tell you. He's in Dune.
Yeah, he's in Dune. He's gonna play Willy Wonka in an upcoming Willy Wonka movie for some reason.
Okay.
It's giving
making another one of
Wonka.
those?
Fucking right! I can't wait to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Willy
We'll
Wonka.
talk about
Oh
it.
yeah.
One of the new Willy Wonka.
And we'll compare the OG and the Johnny Depp one and this one. No, that would be 3
3 movies in one
Three
pod.
movies.
That's not
too
what I
much.
signed up for.
So I wanted to maybe wrap it up and ask the nicest question I could, besides rating it after. Who is your favorite alien?
Yay. Emily, do you want to go first?
Mine's Pawnee. How much time do you have? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I did love Pawnee. I think he's so cute and his jokes were really sweet, and I like that he his queen died, so then he made Tessa Thompson his queen, and it was just cute. Like the dynamic with them was really sweet, and I know they needed him at the end to save Tessa Thompson, so like that part I don't give a shit about. But him as a character, I needed that comedic relief as a adult child. I needed that. I needed that cute character to like I said, keep me going through the movie. And even the little beard guy, he was pretty fucking gross, but
yeah.
I appreciate the little ones. Like, I'm like, oh, that's so cute. So yes, definitely Pawnee, very cute. The first one, I don't have one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just there's nothing that really sticks out to me.
There was a lot of subtle aliens in the first one.
Right, there wasn't like a main one like Pawnee, you know, so I didn't really connect with any on a memorable level from the first one. Not to say that's nothing to do with the movie, it's just, see, that's like I said earlier, how the more modern movie is like, oh, let's do a little cute character, right? They didn't think of that in the first one.
Yeah,
so
they were just making a movie. They weren't trying to create toys.
Making a normal movie, exactly. Yeah. They were trying to get you hooked with the little baby character. So, but I am that demographic. I did like that. So, well, yeah.
You got to get a Pawnee toy. It's probably pretty cheap because
it
might be
I'll
on
probably
sale.
find one on Amazon for like $5. Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah. What about you, Waterbucket?
In the second one, Pawnee was pretty fun. Not gonna lie, definitely enjoyed that. What other aliens were there of note in the second one?
That's what I'm saying. Oh, what's his name? Fungus or whatever.
Vugus or whatever.
Vugus. Oh, the first guy.
He was only in there for 3 minutes and then he died. But he was pretty cool, right?
He was like a hammerhead shark without the hammer.
Yeah, got a weird trunk nose thing. But like him as a character, as a person. From what they were saying, he's just kind of a slime ball that happened to have good morals when it came to this weapon that he was kind of trafficking.
Oh, okay.
What other aliens really were there of note? There was like that cute guy who wanted to take a selfie. He's just like, oh, that guy. He probably calls his mom like every day just to say hi. Which we all should, but like this guy coming out with a selfie stick, being like, "Oh, hey, new friends, let's take a selfie." I mean, that guy was kind of fun.
I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be your favorite alien. How about your favorite looking alien? One that stands out to you. You know, that could also be your answer.
There you go. Oh, well, if that's the case in the second one, I'll definitely say the quote-unquote bad guys from the majority of the movie. Not a huge fan of how their human forms moved.
Well, you don't like it when they breakdance?
When they look like they're having a seizure and need medical attention. But like from before we were saying with the CG everywhere, I think their CG and kind of like their skill set as aliens was pretty awesome. Like living nebulae and just like sentient space gas was pretty cool, and they had like that matter manipulation. I mean, who doesn't want to be able to grab this piece of
I
car
thought that was
and
cool.
Then, and like kind of like Full Metal Alchemist in it from like this weird looking piece of metal into this crazy awesome like torpedo thing.
It was pretty cool.
Those guys were definitely much more in your face than all the other ones. But from the first movie, granted, bad guy alien, super cool. Like Edgar did a great job of being Edgar. The graphics.
Wow, I forgot about him. I fucking love him. Okay, that's my answer for the first one.
That's the answer for the first one.
Yes.
Excellent. But I think for the first one, even though granted this character wasn't in it for very long, it was a pretty big character, was Rosenberg. Like we first meet him at who was that?
Is that the dude with the cat?
That's the dude with the cat. Yeah. So we first meet.
I remembered.
Okay.
So like we first meet him and he's coming out of the jewel store and he's like got his cat. Oh, we're gonna go meet Daddy's friend before we get on the train. Blah blah blah. So they go in, they start talking to their thing. They get murked by alien guy. He takes the wrong thing. Cat goes with the body. But then when the doctor finds the little staples on his ear, presses it, and then we realize, oh, this guy that doesn't have a rectum, doesn't have a digestive tract, doesn't have any lungs.
Yeah.
Oh, we found out he's a giant mech suit for this tiny little, this Archelian prince. And
that was Pawnee for the first movie.
Yeah, he's just this tiny little guy. It has that like adorable aww kind of like when it first opens up.
Even though he's dying.
Yeah, like it adds it on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Like all his life support systems are gone. He's trying to translate.
Yeah.
But,
what, the Orion's Belt thing?
Yeah. The galaxy is on Orion's belt, and then I mean he knows English, which is pretty intense for a guy who is an Archelian prince.
Yeah.
But I think not only him as the kind of like a centralized character of a plot point, he's the one that has the thing that the bad guy wants. Him as just a character, an alien, the whole back to the theme of not everything is as it seems. This guy turns out to be a mech suit, but he's the owner of a jewelry store downtown, and but he's a mech suit with an alien inside of it. How cool is that? Like, is that really what's going on? Is there someone down the street? Because I mean, not to say names or anything, but I've seen some weird looking people in Walmart, and I would not be surprised if some of those people were not from here. Yeah.
That's funny.
So yeah, and so kind of like also seeing it first as at the young age, it definitely appealed to that like sense of wonder and like what is out there. I've been told my whole life we're the only living things in the entire universe, let alone our galaxy. But then like grow up and then you see more stuff and you explore more scientific things and you look at astronomy like, oh my god, the potential for life is so much more prevalent than we're being taught in schools. Like you get those weird outlandish teachers who are like, oh, kids, come and look at all the life everywhere. But then most teachers are just like, man, well, we got enough stuff to worry about here. Don't need to put your heads in the stars.
Okay, well, my favorite alien is what's the name? So the prawn, worm, shrimp looking guys. I like them.
Yeah, the worms. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Am I wrong? But was there in the first movie? Definitely not in International, but in the first movie, there was never the part where like the agents or whatever, Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones went into like the prawn's place where the ceiling is super low. That never happened in the first one, right? That's only like in the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one.
Well,
but they did walk in. Kay walked into the break room, and they were all chilling there with the cigarettes and coffee.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about this despite it being in the Men in Black 2. Let's pretend it's in the first one. I just really love the gag of the low ceiling. It's just so funny how they have their heads turned like that. It's just such a simple thing, just having a lower ceiling, but it just makes every scene so much funnier because everyone's like this. They're like talking, they're delivering dialogue, and they're crooked.
That's funny.
And it's just it just enhances every scene. But so I like those characters just because of that. And I mean, come on, Edgar.
For real.
How can you not love him?
Yeah, right. Dude, definitely. Yeah, that goes back to the first movie, just having those really nice subtle things that it's not in your face, but it's just like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun. They're delivering their dialogue as they would normally, but their head's to the side because the ceiling's too short.
It just makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do in a movie is just have two people talking to each other.
Right, there's
got to be something going on. Whether they're like this, whether they're, I don't know, doing something. Just something. Movies need a reason to be a movie. I could just read a manuscript if it's just going to be two people sitting there talking, and that's the whole point of the movie is to be two people talking, then that's different. But you guys know what I mean.
Serious drama. There's some nonsense going on.
Because
we need to focus on their faces, their
expressions. If you're going to have a movie where two people are just talking, you better make damn sure what they're talking about is interesting and layered. Not Men in Black dialogue. Not Men in Black International dialogue.
Yes, right.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's my take.
Good. So what would you guys rate each of these movies out of 5?
Oh man, first one, 5 out of 5, 100%. Love it. One of my favorites still to this day. One of my favorites. Granted, yes, there's nostalgia to it. Granted, yes, visually you can clearly tell when it's CG versus in real life. But it's just got that. Not only does it appeal to a lot of my alien-y sensibility kind of things, it's solid pace. It's a great movie. The subtle things here and there, like, oh cool, like Kay's just gonna walk into the break room. You want some coffee, kid? I'm gonna get some coffee. And he just walks in like nothing, and then it's like, and you got the little worm guys smoking and drinking coffee.
It's cute.
Yeah, but then the international, if I was like 2.5 maybe.
That's generous.
Like I want to go like 1.75, but it just like like 1.8. How about 1.8? I'll go there. 1.8. It was a little too fast. There were some things that it was a cool idea, just the implementation was a little funky. Like when she first finds she like Jimmy or whatever his name is, I just want my kids back, off of the front of the newspaper, and then she triangulates where it's going to crash, and she goes there, and then she's like, oh, there's this weird field here, and it just looks like a fence to us, but then this flock of birds literally flies through the fence. Like, I get that you're trying to show that it's not really a fence, it's a visual illusion or magnetic field, whatever you want to call it, to show outsiders that it's not there. And you need to have the birds go through the fence to show that the fence isn't real as well, instead of just having like that weird stuff above it. But if it looks like this to everybody, why are the birds going to fly through a fence? Like, no way.
Well, Waterbucket, because the birds have different eyesight than humans, so they can clearly tell that that's not actually their Waterbucket, you see?
Right.
Oh, see? Boom. Got him.
JK.
Things that I had no idea about. Oh, yeah. But yeah, there's just a lot too much. There's too much too fast. It doesn't tell as much of a story. It brings up too many, like, sussed out backstories too quickly for it to be like, I'm invested into whatever this backstory is. It's like, oh, now we need to go find this international arms dealer. Ha ha ha, she has an extra arm. But
I didn't even realize that.
So stupid.
I didn't even realize that that's why she had an extra arm.
Me either. I just got it. Woo!
But yeah, that just kind of that also helps sum up the feelings of the second movie. There's just too much to pay attention to. Just tone it down, back from like 15 down to like 7 maybe, and then we'll get back into the studio. But yeah, first one, love it, perfect. I'll go watch it right now. Why not?
Right.
Second one, I'm good. I'll watch something else instead.
Okay, and what about you, Em? You agree? Well, what's your ratings?
So, I appreciate the first movie for what it is. It's not my favorite genre or anything like that. So, I would give the first one, like, a 3.5. Because I'm not, like, so into the sci-fi type thing, you know, aliens. But I do appreciate the movie. It's good. But, my personal rating would be 3.5. But for how the movie is, for its time, blah, 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 I would give it, like, a 4.5. So...
Nice.
Just know it's a good movie. The second one, the international, I'd give it like a 1.5. Because I like Chris Hemsworth, I like Tessa Thompson. There was, Pawnee's great. There's a few elements and times in the movie where I was like, this is okay. But I'll never talk about it again, never see it again. It's completely out of my mind after today.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What about you, Kinka?
For me, the first one, 3. It's solid. It's well made. I don't like it that much, but I can appreciate it. It's a 3.
Yeah.
International, 1. There's nothing. It's a nothing movie. I'm never going to think about it again. Well, actually, I will because I have to edit this. But after I edit this, then I'll never think about it again.
Yes.
Simple as that.
It's a waste of money. Woo!
Well, speaking of money.
Yeah, hit that Patreon. It's some fantastic stuff. You get, not only can you support these amazing creators and wonderful people, you get to get early access and fast access to their fantastic content, not only audio but also the video, earlier than anybody else. You get what? I think you get interactions with you guys more so if you hit up the Patreon. What else do we got on the Patreon? It's smooth, it's easy. You can get what you need when you need it. You get to help grow this not only fantastic show but also this community. I know I love supporting these guys. A lot of fun. Thank you again for having me on as a guest. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
And thanks for supporting us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I can, definitely.
And that brings me to thanking our patrons. We want to thank Lucy Tunes and Voldemorty, and Waterbucket, of course, and Panda Bear, and Legend Gaming, and Sam here. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. It's really helping out a lot. Just like, we had to rent a movie this past week, and you guys paid for it for us.
Yeah.
And then the next podcast we do have to rent, I think, at least one, or both. So that'll be nice to dip into our Patreon money to just pay for it, so we don't have to. We really appreciate that.
You guys are already supporting us.
Exactly, you're already doing it. Yeah. Exactly. So thank you guys so much, and we will be back with another episode soon. So keep on the lookout for that, and thank you guys.
Waterbucket's socials will be in the description for anybody if you somehow don't know Waterbucket.
Yes, we will.
Their
definitely
socials
link
will
them.
be below. But thank you all for watching and or listening to this, or both. I guess you can do both.
Giving us your time and spending your day with us. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Heck yes. Most
Later.
certainly.
Later.
Peace.